So, I heard you have Stories of Not a Doctor Season 2 for me? So close. It's actually the Apothecary Dairies, and yes, I do. Great, what happens in this thing? Well, first thing that's gonna happen is we're gonna just immediately roll the open. Oh, we are. Yeah, no time or anything to think about it, just bam, right in there. Do you think that might be at all jarring for people who maybe haven't seen this show in about a year? We can only hope that it's not. That's not. Okay, so what happens after the opening credits, bro? Well, you know, Maomao, she's gonna find a cat, and everyone around her is gonna decide to name that cat Maomao. Okay. Why, though? It'll be important later. And anyway, she's also gonna meet this girl, Suirei, right? Oh, what's she like? Well, despite the fact that she's only a serving girl, she can read and write, and she also really likes insects. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, but remember her, because she's gonna be important later. I absolutely will not. No, not at all. And then we're gonna have, like, this caravan that's coming in from the west, right? Ooh, a caravan. What does that entail? Essentially, it's just a way to explain how all the characters got their mysterious and really hard-to-find ingredients in future episodes. Oh, that's smart. That's smart. And anyway, with the caravan, they're gonna be these two special envoys, right? Ooh, special envoys. Are they special? Very much so. And in fact, when their own grandmother was here last, she saw an amazing dance performance that was done by the madam in the place that's not okay for YouTube. Okay, well then just get the lady that's from the place not okay for YouTube to do it again. Well, you know, they can't because, you know, she is very old at this point. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Time exists. And also the dance was special because it looked like they were fairies dancing with her or something. I'm not really sure on the details, but the point is Maomao's got to figure out how to make that happen again. Ooh, creating a mysterious dance from a long time ago that has a magical component to it sounds difficult. Actually super simple, barely an annoyance. Oh really? Yes, because you see Maomao, she's gonna figure out that the fairies were actually just moths that were attracted to the scent of other moths on the clothes, and so she's gonna get JINSHI to recreate the event through the special envoy. Whoa, wait, don't they live in a palace full of the most beautiful women from every land known in the world? Why did they have to have JINSHI do that? Because we need to appease the JINSHI fans somehow. Is that something that they want? Apparently, and so then we're gonna catch up with concubine Liawa. Oh, we are. Well, Liawa's cousin Shin has got one of the ladies in waiting stuck in a shed because, you know, she's sick. Oh no, that's not good, I think. No, it's not. And so then Maomao, she's gonna realize that Shin was making not so good things with ingredients from the caravan in an attempt to poison her cousin Liawa, right? Oh, so does that mean she's gonna get her head chopped off? No, because you see, this is the part where I blacked out and just kind of stopped writing. Whoa, wait, you blacked out? Not important. So anyway, what do you think we should do with Shin? Now just say she was banished or something, but we're never gonna see her again, so it doesn't really matter. Done. And so then Maomao, she's gonna kind of just take a tour of a shrine with JINSHI and the Emperor. Wait, wait, the Emperor is just there? Yes, he is, and the whole shrine is pretty much like a test to see if the one who does it is worthy of becoming the Emperor, but the Emperor, he just can't seem to do it. Whoa, wait, if that test is a prerequisite for becoming Emperor, then why is this dude Emperor? Well, because, you know, it's not super necessary to become Emperor. The blood thing is still pretty important. Okay, well, I guess if it's not super necessary. But at the same time, it is super important for some vague reason that the Emperor does this, right? Well, which is it? Not important. So then he decides to have Maomao do the test instead, and, you know, she's gonna ace it. Okay, so, what is she gonna do differently then? Well, she figures out the people who made this were colorblind, so they couldn't tell the difference between red and green, right? And that helps to solve the puzzle? Yes, it will. And remember that'll be important for later. I'm starting to wonder if it ever will. Moving on, so then the Emperor's Dowager, she's gonna come to Maomao because she's worried that, you know, she put a curse on the previous Emperor, because a year after his death, his body still hadn't decayed at all, right? Oh, and did she? No, turns out it's just a simple case of arsenic poisoning. Oh, just arsenic poisoning? Nah, that's not so bad. Actually, sir, that is pretty bad. Well, that's not what our lawyers are gonna say. Oh, no. So anyway, what happens now? A ghost story. Oh, that sounds very cool. Yeah, it does, which is why we're immediately moving on. Oh, we are. Yes, because, you know, it's time for the hunt, right? Ooh, a royal hunt. That sounds cool. Very, very cool. Unless you're like JINSHI and Maomao who get shot at and have to jump off a literal waterfall. Oh, yeah, I can see how that might put a damper on the activities. Yeah, that's not so good. No, it's not. But there is a bright side. What's that? Maomao finds a somewhat large frog just hiding in JINSHI's pants. She what? Nothing. And so then she's gonna get a dog to find him, and they're all safe. They're rescued now. Wait. What about the hunt, though? Oh, no, that's not important anymore. So we're moving on to something that is. Okay, what's that then? We're gonna reveal that JINSHI's real name is Kazagetsu, the Moon Prince, and he's like the Emperor's younger brother, right? Oh, I see. It's like a big reveal, right? So I'm just gonna tell you one problem with that is we already knew. Wait, you do? What could have possibly tipped you off? Literally everything. If this was meant to be a secret, this was the worst kept secret. Oh. What can you do? You could change it. Shut up. And so then we're gonna have Maomao meet concubine Lisha again, and she thinks that there's like a ghost in her bath, right? Well, having been through this routine a few times, I'm gonna take a guess and say that there's no ghost. You are correct. Turns out it was just a miraculous series of events that projected a face in a mirror onto the wall. A mirror with a face in it? Yes, because that's a thing people did now, I decided. Is the face someone special? It's actually her mother. Oh, that's actually like, that's really, really sweet. Yeah, it is. Which is why we're immediately moving on. On to what? On to the plot. Wait, we have that? Well, you see, there are these older ladies in the rear palace, right? And they've been forbidden from ever leaving by the previous emperor, right? And so they're in on a conspiracy with Suirei, the girl who tried to kill JINSHI last season, right? Oh, what's the conspiracy? Unclear, but it also turns out that that girl Shisui was actually concubine Loulan in not a disguise, and so she's also part of the plot now. Oh, that's someone in the show, for sure. Exactly, and so Maomao, she's gonna get kidnapped when she finds it out, right? Find out what? Because they placed an Amazon Prime order for the caravan, right? Oh no, that's just so evil. Now tell me why that's so evil? Because it is, and so then they're gonna take Maomao to this fox village, right, where she's gonna meet the tyrannical Shenmei, who's like the mother of Loulan, right? Oh, she sounds interesting. What's she like? Well, she's got a workshop full of guns, and she's intent on overthrowing the emperor and placing Loulan on her throne because, you know, her father Suirei has some old imperial blood in him. Whoa, can she do that? Not at all, because, you know, JINSHI, he's gonna ride up with the emperor's private army and demand that he get his woman back. Also, you know, he wants to make them answer for the treason. I suppose that's also a thing. Oh, that's cool. Does that mean we're gonna have a battle episode? Oh, yeah. For about 5 seconds. You could maybe extend it to at least 10. No, and so then Loulan, knowing that JINSHI's about to come and destroy them all, decides to blow up the gunpowder reserves and poison the children, right? Oh, yikes. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty brutal, but JINSHI and Maomao are gonna reunite, so, you know, maybe that washes it out. So does that mean she's gonna find out that he's the prince? Yes, sir, she does. Oh, well, she must be freaking out about that. She will have no visible reaction, and in the meantime, JINSHI's gonna do a Reigns of Castamere speedrun. What do you mean by that? Well, first he's gonna kill Shisho, Loulan's father, and then Loulan's gonna trick her own mother into killing herself with an inverted gun, right? Oh my gosh. Yeah, and so then Loulan, she's gonna make a little cut on JINSHI's face so that when the guards, who for some reason weren't with JINSHI the whole time, arrive and see her dancing, they immediately shoot her. Ah, so she's dead then. No, it turns out that somehow she managed to survive 2 gunshot wounds and a fall from a massive height and winds up in a port city. Wow, how'd she manage that? Unclear, but then it turns out that, you know, the children, they were actually given a resurrection medicine, so they're alive. Oh, good, because I would not have let you leave the room if you decided to keep that. What? And so anyway, then we're gonna end off with a nice little scene of JINSHI and Maomao almost getting together. Oh, why almost though? Why the almost? Because we can't have them get together yet. I mean, it's still way too early for that. We've had 48 episodes. That's more than most rom-coms ever get. Look, it doesn't matter. The point is, the season is done, so what did you think? I thought it was great. Wait, you actually liked it? Yeah, you are totally getting a 3rd season. In fact, I'll put that order in right away. Well, great then. Thank you so much. My pleasure. However, I do have one condition. I don't like the sound of that. Hi guys, Anime Bitch Ming here. Hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, then I suggest you click over here for something that is similar, but not exactly the same. Anyway, see you next one.